Hey everybody, Professor Snart checking in just really quickly here before I run to class and hopefully you run off to somewhere sunny for spring break. We have just passed our first due date then for our poetry workshop, which is Unit 10. I'm recording this on Friday morning. Yesterday, Thursday, was the posting date. So you'll see that you got sort of the half credit for the workshop if you post it on time as a file that someone can access in your group. So you'll see that sort of partial grade, which gets filled out then when we've done the feedback portion, which you actually have tons of time for because we have that spring break. So it feels like you really have weeks and weeks to do this, even though it's obviously not going to take that long, especially because poems are, in many cases, a little bit shorter. So you want to invest, the time still in providing feedback, but you're not having to read a 20-page document. Make sure you're providing feedback in the document. Again, like we've talked about, be really conscious with tone, be positive and be productive, even with weaknesses that you want to identify. So if something is confusing or there's little typos or that kind of thing, make sure that you point those out, but then offer some possibilities for changes or suggest, why things are confusing. Again, even your sort of constructive criticism needs to reflect that you've really spent time and effort with the work rather than just gave it a cursory read and that was kind of it. So that's pretty much where we're at. After spring break, we're actually getting pretty close to the end of our course. We have another open genre workshop where you're not required to write a poem or short story. You can pick which one you want to do. But again, that's fairly far down the road for us because of this week break that we have. So you'll see that partial grade if you post it on time, and then I will, of course, update grades as I see feedback provided within each of the groups. One of the things to mention that is related to that I noticed as a bit of a trend in the midterm kind of course evaluation or feedback that a number of you did is that there's a few students who I think rightly are feeling less than great, let's put it that way, about the investment they're making in both writing good work but also producing really good feedback or providing really good feedback to group members, but then not always feeling like that's reciprocated. So really be conscious that in addition to the writing that you personally are doing for the course, which is one of the benefits, obviously what you're getting out of the course isn't just that individual writing, it's the feedback you're getting from those group members, from your peers. So make sure that you're really investing time in providing meaningful feedback. It's really frustrating, I know, when you're part of a workshop to feel like you're really giving a lot but not necessarily always getting a lot. And I think that's the exception, not the rule, of course, but just be sort of conscious of that, especially as we wind up our course, or at least we get into the last couple of workshops. So we really want to make these meaningful and substantial experiences for all the writers in our class. All right, so have a great spring break, and I will talk to everybody soon.